Greg laughed nervously. Candidate for what exactly? The answer came immediately. Integration. Greg froze. Integration with what? The gray man's chest opened, not like a wound, more like panels sliding apart beneath the skin. The glowing disc rose slightly from the cavity, and beneath it wires, thin silver filaments branching into the body like roots. Greg whispered, "That guy built a machine inside himself, yeah. But why?" The voice responded, "Prototype failure." The words hung in the air. Greg pointed at the body. "So the prototype failed, correct. And now it wants what? Host replacement." Greg looked at me slowly. "You hearing this?" "Oh, I'm hearing it." The floating metal pieces spun faster now. Greg backed up again. "You know what? I'm gonna decline that offer." The gray man's hand twitched. Every floating object shot toward Greg. Not fast enough to hit him, but fast enough to surround him. Coins hovered near his shoulders. Screws floated near his arms. Paper clips rotated near his chest. Greg stood completely still. "Well, that's not good." The voice said calmly, "Observer 2, please remain stationary." Greg swallowed. "I'm considering it." I looked around the room. There had to be something we were missing. The gray man had some hidden secret. There must be some way to stop this. Something we're missing. Oh, my eyes landed on the coffee table. A laptop. Greg saw it too. "You thinking what I'm thinking?" "Yep." He kept perfectly still while I moved slowly toward the table. The floating objects twitched slightly but didn't react much. The gray man's gaze remained fixed on Greg. I opened the laptop, still on screen, dim but active. A program window filled the display. Lines of data scrolled endlessly. Magnetic field strength, energy output, host compatibility. At the top of the window was a title, Project Lattice. Greg called quietly from across the room. "Find anything helpful, maybe?" The cursor blinked beside a message. "Prototype unstable, host mortality confirmed." Below it, "Secondary host required for stabilization." Greg groaned, "Fantastic!" I scanned the interface quickly. Graphs, diagnostics, one button caught my eye. Emergency shutdown. I hovered the cursor over it. The gray man's head snapped toward me instantly. The voice changed tone. "Unauthorized command detected." Greg said quickly, "Do it." The floating objects vibrated violently. The disc in the gray man's chest spun faster. "Shut down, prohibited." I clicked the button anyway. Nothing happened. The interface flashed red. "Access denied." Greg sighed. "Well, that was worth a shot." The gray man began walking toward the table. The floating objects followed him like a swarm. Observer 2, integration required. Greg stepped backward, still declining. The voice grew louder, system destabilizing. The laptop screen flickered, warnings appeared rapidly. Magnetic containment, threshold exceeded. Core overload, risk increasing. Greg pointed at the screen. "That sounds bad, very." The gray man stopped halfway across the room. The disc pulsed violently. The floating objects trembled in place. The voice spoke again, but now it sounded strained. "Prototype integrity failing." Greg raised an eyebrow, meaning the laptop displayed a timer. "Critical failure in 0314. Greg stared. "That's not a lot of time." "No." The room vibrated slightly. The metal object spun faster around the body. Greg looked at me. "So either it integrates me or it explodes." "Great." The timer dropped to 0252. Greg rubbed his forehead. "Okay, new plan. What's that?" "We figure out what this machine actually does." I scrolled through the laptop laptop logs, page after page of technical notes. Electromagnetic lattice generation, matter stabilization fields, quantum anchor points. Greg leaned over translation. I think he was trying to stabilize matter with magnetic structures. Greg frowned. Why? Another log entry appeared. Go prevent molecular decay, extend biological lifespan indefinitely. Greg blinked. You're telling me this guy tried to build immortality? Looks like it. Greg glanced at the gray man. Well, that didn't go great. The timer hit 02:11. The gray man staggered slightly. The blue disc flickered. The voice stuttered. System failing. Greg stepped forward carefully. You think if we pull that thing out it stops, or triggers the explosion immediately? Greg nodded slowly. Right? The timer hit 01:42. The metal object slammed back onto the floor. Suddenly the magnetic field weakened. The gray man dropped to one knee. The voice crackled violently. Oh, structural integrity lost. Greg looked at me. This thing is falling apart. Yeah, maybe that's good. The timer hit 01:18. The disc spun wildly now. Light flooded the room. The laptop displayed a final warning. Core collapse imminent. Greg sighed. You know what? What? If this thing blows up, I'm blaming you, he said, and yes, the gray man collapsed.